Well, good morning. I didn't do a video yesterday, so I had done the one for yesterday, the day before actually, if you remember. That was my rant. Anyway, the title for today is Operation ABC, Activating Boomerang Counterpunch. Okay, I did my video rant about God not supporting creation. What would I expect God to do? For starters, answer prayers for help. Whoops. All right. Simple enough, right? Actually, I'd like to see the playing field on Earth leveled. There, another mistake. Boy, that's two mistakes. Whoops, and then I put it in the wrong place. Okay. The beast unleashes all sorts of aggressive weapons against humanity and the Earth itself. I'd like to propose Operation ABC, Activating Boomerang Counterpunch, a defensive program that would empower humanity to literally neutralize weaponry and cause it to backfire on the aggressors. This would require the ability to gain the cooperation of elemental processes, including disintegration. It would also require the ability to suspend time and create holograms that would allow perpetrators to see and actually feel what it's like to be the victims of whatever aggression they plan to wage on anyone else against their will and without their consent. Another mistake. Is this possible or practical? Well, Anastasia did it in the Ringing Cedars series, along with a couple gifted children she told about from our future. Also, if we can imagine it, we can do it, right? Well, if God has been willing to allow offensive weapons for so long, why not empower us to boldly create defensive weapons that are even more powerful? Let me read what Jake sent me I posted a video last night when I came home from hearing my son's band played before I went to bed around midnight. I posted a video about strange sounds in New Jersey all day yesterday. Well, we've heard strange sounds like that before, and some suggested it's the trumpets of the angels and other supernatural things. But Jake shared this, and he lives in, I believe he lives, does it say that in this thing? I believe he lives actually in the Crimea. Oh, wait a minute, yes. I was told by a Russian man here in Crimea, whose father was a nuclear physicist in the Russian space program, that during a 1970s Bay of Pigs incident, his father was standing in the nuclear missile room when the two military men assigned with pushing the red buttons for nuke attack actually were given the order, and when they went to push the red buttons, he witnessed them dematerialize. No one would sit down in the seats and take up their positions from that moment on. Maybe God's on the job after all. Ron. Anastasia, when she was, when they came to take her to a camp outside of Moscow, and that's here in the Space of Love book. In fact, it's it's chapter 7, assault. Okay, and then there's this other one when words change destinies. And I believe, well, the assault first of all. They went to take her by force. Well, she was an empowered human being. If the story is true, and I've always believed it was, because I don't think Vladimir Megra could have made it up. He didn't have the tools to make it up, in my opinion. But in any case, one soldier managed to get one shot off that grazed her ear. All the rest of the bullets dematerialized, or actually hit a shield. When she put up her shield, they hit a shield and fell, just like in the Matrix movie with Neo, when he gained his powers. I think it's a similar incident, or in the same period of time when words change destinies, when she actually froze the men in their tracks, suspended time, and showed them a hologram of what they were doing to humanity, to the earth. However, I don't remember all the details, but it put the fear of God, a healthy fear of God, into aggressors, so that they realized what they were doing, and they couldn't do it anymore. She changed their destiny by what she told them when they were frozen, by what she activated in their consciousness. Oh, and then she told in a future book, a different book, about children that were coming into the planet that were able to disintegrate, to speed up the process of disintegration, so that ugly things and weapons were disintegrating. And these kids' father actually worked in the Russian military, and again, it was in Russia, actually worked in the Russian military, and they saw their rockets disintegrate, but also ugly things that were rusting and decaying. They were able to speed up the disintegration process by thought. By thought. There are many latent powers we have within us. I don't know how they work. I don't know why they don't work so much of the time. I don't know. This is what I'd like to get God to work with us. I mean, to really work with us, not against us. He allows the aggressors all sorts of freedom to violate other people's free will. But he doesn't provide, most of the time that I can see, people's ability to withstand the aggression and to, as I put the word boomerang in there on purpose, and counterpunch on purpose, because aggression needs to be met with a counterforce of equal power, such as the boomerang coming back to the person, or the idea and the intention to harm coming back and causing harm to the person who's doing it. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. So if you are wanting to harm someone else against their will, it comes back to you. It would stop the aggression in its tracks in a relatively short time, as soon as the word got out. What would happen if when a policeman was using a taser to subdue a slave, and that's the way they see it, somebody that doesn't have any rights, what would happen if the taser reversed its energy flow and they couldn't control it, so that whichever way they aimed it, it would come back on them, and they would be the one being tased? What would happen if they went to shoot somebody, some unarmed person, or somebody that was only even trying to defend themselves against aggression, if the gun would literally explode in their hands and maybe even take off a hand? Not that I want to see somebody lose their hand, but I'm talking about people that are aggressors being taught lessons that would stick and that would get their attention enough to make them consider what they're doing wrong? What would happen if pilots and crew in airplanes that flew and dumped poisons into the atmosphere? What would happen if there was malfunctions of the equipment so that the thing that they were putting into the atmosphere instead started going into the airplanes? Not being released into the atmosphere, but they'd have to breathe the crap in concentrated form within the airplane. It might bring down a few planes, right? But not instantly. The word would get out. Pilots would be able, the crew would be able to report what's going on before the plane would crash with these people that want to hurt other people. Or maybe just enough could escape to get their attention without killing them and making the plane crash. I don't know. But something defensively has to be put in place that's of equal effect as the aggressive weapons are against humanity and against the earth. And what about the people that steal? And these are, I'm talking now about attorneys and judges and CEOs and bankers and people in high places in white-collar positions. What would happen if their homes and their possessions begin to dematerialize right in their lives, so that their homes would simply start to fall apart? Do you think they'd draw a correlation? They're stealing other people's homes? Well, let their homes disintegrate. Let the things that they value, let them vanish before their very eyes. Do we have such powers like that? I can think it. I can imagine it. I've read stories that such things have actually happened. Whether fantasy or reality, I don't know. But they're interesting, and they could level the playing field. What if God actually started answering prayers, and all we'd have to say when we were being aggressed upon is Operation ABC? We just have to remember our ABCs. Operation ABC. And that would trigger the elementals, the angelic realm, the invisible realm, to start speeding up the process of creation and disintegration. Creating that which needs to be created, whether it's a hologram or something like that, to freeze frame the situation, to allow the people that are being the aggressors to wake up. Why does it have to only be the aggressors that are empowered? That's the question I ask of Creator, of God, whatever you want to call it. Why does it have to be unequal? Why can't force meet force and ultimately cancel out the false nature put into humans to aggress on other humans? Or demons to aggress on humans, or whatever entities are doing the aggression? Why can't it be reversed? Why can't there be the boomerang effect, the enantiodromia? Why can't there be that which turns creation on its head for good instead of for evil? Maybe God is just getting used to his training wheels. Maybe God is not perfect. I would suspect that Aristo's right. God's just learning. He never did this before. He never did this thing of creation through a process of individuation, which makes everything appear separate. Maybe God fucked up. I think God did fuck up, quite frankly. God really messed up the creation. He didn't do it right. Because I don't believe that making whole planets victimized is the right way to go ever for any reason. How many times do you have to get raped before you learn if God is experiencing these things in us? How many times do you have to get raped to stop allowing people to rape other people against their will? How many times do you have to have someone killed in front of you when you are the parent and you are the child that's killed? How many times do you have to suffer from a disease that there are cures for, but the system will not allow them, before you realize that you have to stop these people that are creating bad things for other people? How many times do you have to experience it, God? How many people do you have to experience it in? It's not the individual. It's your life that's part of them, your life that gives them life. You breathe into their nostrils and they become living beings, living entities. But it's your breath that is the essence that gives them life, that gives us life, that gives everything life. It's you're experiencing your creation. Do you like pain? Are you a masochist? We know you're a sadist because you've allowed this for so long. Only a sadist would do that. Are you also a masochist? Do you like to be the recipient of victimization of various levels? What triggered the video the other day, getting mad at God, was some of my friends that share with me that are going through really serious health issues. And I wanted so much to be empowered with the gift of healing, to be able to speak the word and heal them. If I could do that, you're damn right I would. There's lots of things I would do. And if I was the family that has all this wealth, I would launch programs immediately, building technology and distributing technology for free energy, and the healing technologies that have been created and are being suppressed by the pharmaceutical industry and by the beast creatures, the 666 mark of the beast people that want to just rule the world and make life hell for everybody. I would release the technologies freely to humanity so that there would be viable alternatives. These are things that I would want God and the family to work on. It's what I'm calling for. You want solutions? Let's mix the natural with the supernatural, if you will, because it's all natural, actually. If we would only have our DNA reactivated and have all of our gifts and powers and abilities put back in place so that the latent qualities of our soul were reinstituted and given back to us, but in a way that we could use them defensively rather than offensively, to do good instead of evil, to be benevolent instead of malevolent. Is what I'm asking too much? I don't think so, God. Where the hell are you? I've spelled it out for you. What are you going to do with a man like me that that's tired of this shit and said, I don't want to take it anymore? And I'm not alone, and you know it. Thank you all for listening. Namaste.